Hi guys, this is Abdurrahman Kilal, and in this video I will be explaining about classes and how can we make our own classes. Actually, we've been making our own classes since the first day of learning this course, but I will be explaining further that how can we make objects of of our own classes, and how can we use different classes in some other different classes. So first of all, I must explain you something about classes, that what is the class. So the theoretical definition is a class is a blueprint for creating objects, which means that I always say doctor. In my previous video, I'll also explain a doctor. Doctor can be anybody, but Dr. Claire is one of the instance. So class is a blueprint where we do not have you know certain functionalities into it which is working, but usually we have the things that objects can use and reuse them. And with the help of classes, we can do encapsulation, we can do inheritance, polymorphism, and many more things which we'll be learning slowly and gradually within this course. But for the time being, we understand that class is a blueprint, and in the class, we have certain attributes of that blueprints and the functionalities, which is always considered into the methods, which we learned in our previous presentation or video. And that's where I can, when I or any programmers explain that how class looks like. So what we do is that in diagrammatically way, we say that a class is having such a design that we have a name of the class. Here is the name, and sorry, my here is the name, and then here are the attributes, and the last part is we call here methods. So here are the methods, and here are the attributes. So what are the attributes? Attributes are the singular or composite variables where we can just put, and they do not do anything, they carry the data. And these are the methods or functionalities which basically help us to do some execution. For example, my name is my attribute, and my last name is my attribute, my age is my attribute, but my I eat and I drink and I walk and I talk. So these are my methods. So, and this I am a human as a class. So I think that's all about theoretical explanation that we have already discussed in our previous videos. I'm just gonna quickly create a class. Let's say how do we create the classes? So usually we go to the SRC and Java classes, and I'm gonna say I'm gonna make a Kate class. So Kate is now my class. Excuse me. Yep. So I have other classes as well in this program, but I'm not gonna I'm just gonna tell you that how can we basically try to take advantage of using other classes into the class in other classes. Let's say this is the main class, and I'm going to call the main Kate class into the main class. So how are we going to do that? So first of all, as I told you, that there are two keywords you should remember. One is a public. Public means everybody can see that, anybody in the world which you can see that. And there is another word which is called private. Private means only within the class. Within the class means any scope that private is getting. For example, if the private keyword is attached with the method or the variables within the method, so only methods variable or method can access the how to say the variables or the methods. So public is access modifier, as well as the private is access modifier. So these are the access modifier. I will have another video on it, so I will share it with you later. So let me see, like I'm making the my how to say my kit names and all those things. So it's just my own how to say explanation that how am I thinking about the program. So let's say I'm so gonna say my kit name is in a string, and it will be private, which means anybody else who is trying to access me will not be accessing that one. And I have, let's say, another private, which is like an integer, which is my age of the cat. So these are two things that I'm right now making, and then I'm trying to just show you that if I wanted to use that class somewhere else in another class, then how can we use that? But let me just bring out some other functionality. So what my kid does, or my kid, do anything. So I'll be explaining shortly. So now how one can actually use the classes. So this is the main class, which is a different class than the kid class. We know that. Now, if I wanted to access the kid class, so usually what we do is that we always call the name of the class and then we write the any name that my cat, for example, this is my name. So this my cat is now my identifier that I'll be calling the instance. So that I'm making an object of my class cat. Here, Kate is nothing, but here Kate is being, right? So here, for example, Kate is a template, and here's Kate is being my cat or Luna, for instance, if I say. So Luna is my cat, and then I say new keyword has to be used, and then this is the constructor we use, but I'll explain you in a different videos that what is a constructor and how do we use a constructor. First of all, let's see here. If I say Luna, sorry about that. Yeah. Luna dot. So you're gonna see you have other things that are coming from the dot operators after, but we don't have this name and anything. So let's say if I remove this and then I try to do Luna dot, you can see the name. So usually, like if we don't put anything in access modifier, this is called package private, which will be explained later. For instance, if you see that, so this is the project and this is the package. So this is general package. I may make a package here as well, but this may be considered like a little bit advanced for you at the moment, but I'm not gonna explaining you. So package is also like a logical distribution of the code. So when we do not have anything mentioned, we call that the package private, or things will be only used within the package. So both of them, main and cat, are in the same package. That's why they can access each other without giving anything. So let's say Luna, and if I say make it again private again, so you're gonna see here. Okay, sorry about that. So if you come back here and then try a dot and you don't have any name anymore. So that's one of the things. Now, if you wanted to, pass some values to to the Luna cat or some your cat, so you're going to do that. So you have two ways. One is that you call the constructor. Another one is that you call some mutators. Mutators are the method that set the values. So I'm going to tell you one first, which is the method based, and then I will explain you and the other one later maybe. Um, uh, uh, or maybe I can explain you both of them here. So let's say if I am making my constructor is specific method. So usually the constructor is always public. You don't have to make it private and it does not return anything. And then it has a name exactly the same as your, how to say, is the name of your class. So here you can pass any values to it. For example, you have first one is a string, and then you can keep it as a name, and so and then you have another because here we are using this, so better you use x here and integer age here, so you can see integer age here. So here, related problem, you're gonna see that we have not passed any value here. So why? Because constructor, when we, oh sorry, I should make it name here as well. When we are trying to work with the constructor, we should remember that constructor has to be called right here when we define the object of the class. So right now, just leave it. So what we're gonna do is that we know that this is a string, uh, you know, um, so here, let's say if you said X and you said the Y, so let's say just for our own understanding, so like X, where we want it to be a little bit, how to say, explanatory, that's why I have to change. So X will basically keep the name, which is private here, and you see this is the global variable so that it can be directly called. So you can call that this dot name or you can keep name as well. It's up to you. So I always say use the better practice, this dot name, which means take the name from this class and then this dot name, which is now replaced by X. Previously, we didn't have any value to X. And I'm going to say this dot age equals to Y. And that's it. Or you want it to be explanatory, you can keep it name here. So you have to be knowing that which name is for what. So here you should be saying name and this should be saying age. So you're gonna see this number, I'm sorry, this color coding will let you know that this dot means this is bringing from upstairs, from up here, not from upstairs. Okay. So now the problem is that you have to pass the value. So when you come here, if you don't pass the value, it's gonna be a problem. So you have to pass the value like Luna is 2 years old. So that's it. Now Luna is set to these methods. So this is the constructor, which is a specific method. Don't focus too much right now because that's you are very early for that. But this will help you to set the initial values to the variables that you have private or you wanted to set. So I wanted to set the name and age of my variables. But now if I wanted to access the Luna, like Luna, let's say, has some methods to drink or eat, so I don't have anything else. I just have these methods, which is, so can I make a value? Can I make a method that will basically bring me the value backward to this caller or like main class? Yes, we can. So usually what we do is that we make public and then we say string so that like and we say get name. So this is by like if anyone wants to know what is my name of my cat, so they can do like that. And then we should return, as we learned last time, we can return any, how to say, any value from the method. So now this dot name will help us to return the name, and this name cannot be passed here because it's a local name, but this dot name, which means this name, which I said in the first, like my private name. Now it will help. It will send the copy. It will not send the actual. So if you have multiple values, so you can bring them in the parentheses. But usually one thing must be remembered that return is always one. You cannot return more than one. So that's it. And if someone wanted to know my, age, so I'm going to say integer, get age, and then nothing is being passed because we already set up there. So it return, sorry about my spell, it return this dot age, better this dot age. So that's going to be very beautiful. So now you come back here. So you wanted to print something. My kid name is, and then you can put here, let's say, Luna, because we have already said Luna here. So Luna dot, and then you have get name and get age. Both of them are there. Now you wanted to say like my kid name is Luna, and then I'm gonna say here my kid age is, and here I'm gonna dot get age. So and I run that. So now I can see that, so you see Luna and 2 were passed from here. Let's say you realize that you made an error, let's say in a spell. So now how are you gonna set? Can pass another, can you create another, how to say, object, or you gonna replace the value? This is going to be very critical now because you already set up the values to the constructor. Now constructor has set the initial values here. So now this is kind of a complicated situation. So in order to solve that situation, we have to call the mutators or some methods which will help basically set the value. So that's just a simple thing. Is that, so basically when we set the values, we do not return anything there, isn't it? So I say set name. So now what is the type of name? Always name is, sorry, in integer, sorry, in a string. So here I say set name equals to this name, right? So this name will be replacing the previous name. So let's say previous name was with wrong spell. What was that? Lenua, and now I'm gonna make my name correct. So here I can also do the same thing for, if I mistakenly, said the age wrong. So I'm gonna say integer age here, and I'm gonna say set dot age in here, and I put age here. So this is also like I can do the mutation. Now mutation means I'm gonna put the values there and I'm not gonna, basically call them. So I have to call again. Remember that this is still the main copy is still store. It is still under this class, which is what class wants to return. If class does not give you permission, then you cannot access directly in the main class. So now you had a error, so now you wanted to set the error, so you say Luna dot. Now you have more methods, so you're gonna say set name, and here you can put any name that is correct name. So it is where you put this way, or you can take from the user. It's up to you. I don't mind. So let's say even here, you can say like. Let's say name your kid name or kid name, and then you can, place here scanner, and then scanner new, and then scanner, and then system.in. So your scanner is ready. So now any value that you wanted to take, for example, you wanted to take a string name, and then you wanted to bring this to scanner dot next line. So this is going to take the name of the cat, and this is going to be taking the age of the cat. Actually better here. So that's like this one way. Yeah, that's a problem. We don't have to say string right this way because we already defined the string up there. So we cannot, sorry, integer age, and then that's maybe my bad. So it's the integer age, and then I'm gonna say what is the age of the cat. Sorry about this. Yep. And kid age, and then whatever kid's age is, and better we say scanner dot next int. That's gonna be perfectly fine. So what is the name? Name cat, kid name cat, and then here we don't pass Luna or anything. We can pass name, and this is age. So this is going to be perfectly fine. I don't mind about that, and this is where you also can do that. You want to replace the name, so uh, let's say you may uh, what is the new name of your cat? New name. And here you can do the same. You can call the same name, and then you can put here the scanner, and then you can take the next line, and any value that comes here, you can place here. And that's it. So with this way, set a name will help you to set the name, and then whenever you wanted to print the lattice values here, so you're gonna say, okay, the new name here, the new name of my cat is, now that's it. And then just run it. So beautiful. So what is the name? I said, as I say, Lunua, and I say she's 2 years old. So, okay, so did I call the, okay, so here is a problem. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. The problem usually happens with the scanner dot next line, because sometimes when we key in the, how to say, next line things, it creates a problem, like the enter key is always stored into the buffer. So this is one of the things. So what we have to do is to make sure that we remove the buffer. So how do we remove the buffer? Easy peasy way is that we just create like this way. So we now don't have to worry. So here will be fine. Okay, we remove the buffer right here. So let's run it and see. This is going to remove the buffer. Remove the buffer. The, the values in the buffer. Usually buffer is a temporary variable which holds, it's a temporary memory which holds some values. So let's say here we'll be removing everything that is in the buffer, which is especially enter key. So, which is enter key. The enter key is removed now. So let's say, what's your name? Kid name is Lunua, and kid age was 2. So Lunua and kid, what is the new name of your kid? Now I say Luna. So you're gonna see now Luna is replaced previous to Lunua. So I hope it makes some sense, sorry. When we are working with classes, we can make the class with a keyword called public class. We can have class private, but that will be the inner class. When we will reach it to the level, we'll be explaining, I will be explaining you that one as well. And then we have private access modifier, which means nobody can access other than the class itself. And then this is the constructor. So in the constructor, we learned, sorry about that. In the constructor, we learn that constructor is a special method that helps us to save the initial values to the class. So we took the advantage when we declare, when we make the, how to say, object of the class. So we pass the values to the constructor like this way, and this constructor name has to be same as the name of the class. That's why like Kate is exactly the same here as a cat, but definitely we have parentheses, which means clearly that we have this is a method because class does not have any parentheses. So you see here, and we may have more type of constructors, which you'll be learning later on. And in case that you want to access the values of the attributes of the class, those are private. So usually you have to have a method which is public, so we can limitize the access. That's one of the beautiful things. And if you want to mutate or you wanted to replace the value of the attributes of the class, you can have a specific method, which is you may name anything, but I name it a set name and set age. So if you have more variables, you have to set a more, and then you can just return nothing but receive the values from the caller class. I hope it makes some sense. If you have any confusion or questions, please do not hesitate to drop me the comment. Take care, guys.